y'all just like had a rewind button on you, like on your shoulder. You could just rewind, like, look at your neighbor and say, I just wish sometimes I had one more chance. Come on, say, I wish I had one more chance. One more chance.
One more chance.
Before we get into this tonight, maybe somebody's watching around America, maybe nationally or internationally, or maybe here locally, I don't know. Let's welcome all those that might be watching from around the world, or maybe some city that don't get to come. You are at the basement, man, we spray it loud. You ought to come on down here if you don't feel white, because right down here we are not perfect, we are just. Listen to it.
Forgiven.
Come on, we are not perfect, we are just.
Forgiven.
So I gotta get into this. Link your name one more time. Come on, get with me. I mean, I need some of y'all to vibe with me. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. How many of y'all could press rewind every once in a while when you do something stupid? Like you just wish it wouldn't have happened. You just like I can give you an example. Like me and Bird travel a lot, and so we'll be somewhere and we'll get in the elevator and we'll be laughing, the doors will get ready to close, and then somebody like let something out or something. And then right before the door closed, he'll look at me like, I got you, and then somebody will stick their hand in. Y'all ever had to, and the door opens and they got to get in there. And then they looking at me and Bird like, man. And I'm like dancing to the buttons to like move that over there, and I'm like, man, he did it. He did the jump. He's the one that smells. You just wish you could redo it, you know, like, man, I look at, well, you shouldn't do stuff like that. Some of y'all I can see right now, some of y'all got y'all couples, so like, man, God forbid, like, you get in a car on a date, and you get in, man, you wasn't planning, you ate something. You ever ate something? I don't mean to talk like this, but you ever ate something before, it just didn't settle right with you. It hit a nerve, and you're like, well, go into the car, and I'll be there, and you get to the, oh man, you be like, hold on a second, you get in, and you're like, oh, and it just happens. And then, like, you can't be driving or nothing, because you can't roll the windows down. Why, ladies? Because if you roll the windows down, their hair gets blown, man. Before you know it, it's mess and smell. And you just wish you could push rewind and get one more. Come on, one more what?
Yeah.
And so, like, for most of us, that would be like some of the story of our lives. Like, I mean, some of you just like, man, oh, if I could just take this one moment back. I mean, it's like when I run across people, they'll go, if I could just take this one thing back. And sometimes they let things separate them from God. Or sometimes they're like, man, God don't love me because of this one time. And I'm like, man, you just don't really know, because in Romans, it says that nothing can separate you from the love of God. And so, like, it's like maybe they just don't know, but we do things that we don't know. Like, how many of y'all ever been to Six Flags? Everybody been to Six Flags? I mean, how can anything go wrong in Six Flags? Man, I used to love that thunder splash, man. That thing would come down and it would just knock water. Man, one time I saw this dude fell, and I loved it, man. He just tripped all over. And I remember this one time I was at Six Flags, and I was thinking, I mean, you can't really get in trouble at Six Flags, but man, I don't know. I got into this stage where I was just, I don't know, I was bored. I was there, and I was walking around, and something was like telling me, and probably, this was a long time ago, but I just might as well tell you, like, family, and I was walking around, and something in my mind was like, man, like, I saw Spider-Man and Batman and all these different characters, and something was like telling me I could be them because I was on drugs. And I remember walking through some of the stores, and I thought, man, I don't want to be Batman or Spider-Man, I just want to be like a thief. And I remember y'all ever seen the Cat in the Hat? Y'all remember that? I had this big old Cat in the Hat thing on, and I remember, I don't know why, but something would tell me, like, just grab something, ain't gonna be no big deal, and I'd grab it, and I'd walk out, I'd put it in my hat, and I'd put my hat back on. I'd walk to another store, and I'd grab something, I put it in my, and it was silly junk. It was like Aladdin necklaces, and it was like, it didn't have nothing to do with anything. And I remember walking around, and finally I had my hat was full with stuff, and I knew it was wrong. I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, but something in me just said, it don't matter. Ain't nothing can happen in Six Flags. And I remember I was walking in this one store, and I was like, I don't know, I saw this Coca-Cola machine, and something said, I bet you can't grab a Sprite. And I remember I looked in this thing, and I opened up this door, and I grabbed the Sprite, and I walked out, and before I knew it, these two cops was right there. And they had been following me the whole day. They'd been seeing how much stuff I could collect. Well, I did not know that, you know, they can tally up by even a necklace is a fine. Then another necklace is a fine. Then a sock, whatever it might be around you is a fine. I didn't know this, and I didn't know there was real police in Six Flags. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was like Barney Fife type junk. And so, man, these guys were standing there, and they walked up to me, and they looked at me dead in my eye, and I saw them. I was like, uh-oh. And they said, hey, young man. I said, yes, sir. I was so nervous, and I've been in trouble many times, but they said, have you been stealing stuff today? And I thought about it like everything was in the hat. And I was thinking, well, they can't do, like, if they search me, they're not going to find it because it's in the hat. And I said, well, I looked at him like, no, man, you don't need to be accusing me, man. Don't be accusing me. I got a pass, man. I got a season pass. Don't be accusing me of junk, man. I'm a member here. I know the guy that owns this. And before I could do anything, the cop just reaches out and he takes the top of the hat and he pulls it. And when he pulls it, this junk just falls all around me. And I was trying to explain to them, well, that was for my sister. I thought she would need that, and that one was for. And before I knew it, they had me handcuffed, man, and I was arrested. And being arrested it's not really a fun thing. Anybody thinks it is, man, you missed it, because what happens is they'll take you to a place, then they'll settle up, and they'll end up finding out how old you are. And then for my life, I was a lot of times younger when things like that would happen. So you'd be either fined, sent to juvie, or if you were of age, they would get ready to put you in another jail or put you in a spot. Well, I'm in Atlanta, I don't live there, I'm not a resident, and they find this out. They look at me and they think, man, the fine was really not good for me in this situation. And man, once again, here I am in the back of this place, and I'm sitting there, and man, my friends have left, they ain't even looking for me, and I'm in this place. I didn't even know Six Flags had this kind of stuff. And I remember sitting there, and I remember just thinking, man, sometimes you just want to hit that rewind button. And I remember thinking, you know, what had happened when everybody leaves, when nobody's ever there, whether it's in your room or your house or